going on, YouTube, social media world? It's your boy AnonymousBased, and I'm biggity back with a new reaction video. This time I'm getting into something that I haven't really touched on this channel. But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and give this video a like, share with a couple of your friends. Make sure you follow me on all my social media sites. And if you got something specific, go ahead and drop it in that comment section. So we are getting into some relationship topics. I'm going to be reacting to a video from the channel that I've been watching for a while called It's Complicated. So shout out to It's Complicated. And the video that we're going to be reacting to is called Picking and Choosing Rules of Modern Dating and Understanding Women. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it, man.
Why is a woman's love more likely something that needs to be earned through courtship than a man's love?
Because we're worth more than anything in the world.
Because men could get off to anything, and I feel like girls need a little more persuasion to be with someone.
I think women are more like consensual.
Dang, bro, she's tall, bro. Hold on. Hold on. That chick is tall.
Anything, and I feel like girls need a little more persuasion to be with someone.
I think women are more like consensual and into love than men are sometimes.
Nah.
I feel like a lot of the time we might be harder.
Nah. I don't know about that, because here's the thing, man. Like, if you think about romance novels or any type of romance movie, the guy is the one that typically loves the woman for who she is. Like, he doesn't show up and tell her, oh, well, you gotta have this and this and that in order for me to save you. They just take you the way you are. And they like, men love you for who you are, whereas women love you for what you bring to the table. Like, you have to do something for them to like you. Whereas on the flip side, a woman can just exist and men like her for who she is. But it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get back into it.
To please, and that the extra effort at the beginning through courtship is something that's greater appreciated through women than men.
I was just going to say that men are kind of trash.
It's also a little old school, I feel like, to be a little more...
Hold on. See what I'm saying? How is it that you get to navigate in a world that men built, and you get to openly say that men are trash based on what? Now, looking at her, you could tell she hasn't had the best of luck when it comes to dating, man. Like, let's keep it real. This chick looks like she's at least 6'3", bro. She's way taller than these other chicks. And let's be honest, man, most tall guys don't really go for tall chicks like that. I mean, she's at least 5'11", 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2", maybe 6'3", bro. So, based on her, she ain't really in no position to be criticizing the dating market when you don't really have the odds in your favor. If anything, you got to take what you could get at this point. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, though.
Or like the courting phase as opposed to the wheeling and dealing that happens these days.
Why is a man expected to proudly give away his assets in the hopes that a woman will reciprocate?
Because we give that bomb-ass pussy.
Why did society set things up that way?
Oh, got him.
Why is a man expected to proudly give away his assets in the hopes that a woman will reciprocate?
Because why not give her values when she deserves it?
What?
The traditional way to get business insurance sucks. Days and weeks, calls back and forth.
Hold on, let me bring that
Man
back.
Expected to proudly give away his assets in the hopes that a woman will reciprocate.
Because why not give her values when she deserves it?
Well, what makes a woman deserve it any more than a man does?
Because she provides a family, life-wise.
But doesn't the man provide the seed that allows a woman to give birth?
Right. So it'll be both ways. I guess they both can be rewarded. They get both rewarded.
Well, why don't women typically court men the way men are expected to court women?
Probably because they're scared. They're probably going to overpower women.
If I were to go on a first date again, I would want to be courted.
Dang, bro, she tall too.
To feel special.
Hold on. Yo. Dang, this is like the second chick that's on this video that's tall. Like, she looks like she's about 6'1", 6'2". But see, the difference is she don't look like the other one. So I can tell she has a little bit more luck in the dating space than old girl from the last couple clips. But at the same time, I don't really know if she's gonna be all that realistic either. So I don't know.
Both can be rewarded. They get both rewarded.
Well, why don't women typically court men the way men are expected to court women?
Probably because they're scared. They're probably going to overpower women.
If I were to go on a first date again, I would want to be courted. I would want to feel special. Girls take that more into consideration than guys do, so I feel like that's why guys should do that more than...
Well, don't you think that a man also wants to feel special?
I think so too, but
so
I feel like...
why don't women court men?
They should.
Absolutely.
Well,
it goes both ways.
They should, but they don't.
Depends on the woman.
Well, I mean, how often does that happen?
Not often.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Why do you think that there isn't a push to, like, you know, have women court men
because
to
I
make
think
them feel special?
Because I think people look at the old time, but I think it should go both ways. I think you should make your significant other feel special, and I think they should make you feel special.
Yeah, but they don't.
Guys definitely feel the same way, no matter how many.
For first date, I just think that you're just trying to impress, and that's why guys pay to impress, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Absolutely.
With that expectation, just kind of like continues like the patriarchy and just like, you know what I mean? Like it kind of like plays into it. So actually that's interesting. I just feel like that's the way it's been for so long. And that.
But I mean, doesn't that you benefit from patriarchy benefits women?
Yeah. I think it has pros and cons for both men and women. Yeah.
So why would women want to tear down the patriarchy if there's things in the patriarchy that benefit women?
Because most of it is detrimental. Yeah. Most of it is negative.
I'd say like the things in the patriarchy that benefit women in this scenario is like men just treating us with respect, and like the whole courtship situation is like men respecting women and taking them out on dates before they like, you know, want to have sex with them or like want to fuck them or whatever. And I feel like that's just general respect, and like if that's the only aspect of the patriarchy that helps women.
See, it's funny how she says that. Oh, you know, court us and take us out on dates before you have sex. But let's keep it real. These chicks have had a one-night stand before, and the dude didn't have to do nothing. So, with all due respect, stop the cap. Stop the cap right now! Stop the cap!
I'd still fucking tear it down.
Right.
I don't know, like... Men respecting women and taking them out on dates before they like, you know, want to have sex with them or like want to fuck them or whatever. And I feel like that's just general respect. And like if that's the only aspect of the patriarchy that helps women, I'd still fucking tear it down.
Right.
I don't know, like...
I think men sometimes are seen as having better jobs and more money than women still, even in this day of age, rather than...
Okay, but you're free to choose,
still,
though.
I think a bit seen as the homemakers and the person who looks after the house and the kids.
Do you think modern women are more interested in being nurturing or being independent?
We focus on being independent that we forget about the nurturing part. So I'll say it's a 50-50, but we lean more to independence.
Yeah, because this day and age, these niggas don't be doing what they need to do. These guys don't be doing what they need to do. And we have to pick up the slack. So it's like, independence.
Does a man get to define what a woman is?
Not at all.
So what gives a woman the right to define what a man is?
Okay,
Damn,
I'd say you're
son,
asking
where'd
a
you
group of
find
girls
this?
that would say independent, but I don't.
Wouldn't.
Okay, I'd say you're asking two girls who would say independent.
Independent for sure. For me, yeah.
But I also don't think that not necessarily applies to everyone.
What happens when these women want families?
Uh-oh.
I think they become nurturing. I think women, the minute they find the person that they think they want to have a family with, become nurturing versus independent. I think they want to have their sense of independence and they try to keep their sense of independence, but I think they naturally become nurturing.
Well, you can't have it both ways, though.
That the woman's feminine role is conditional while the man's masculine role is static?
Yeah? Yes. Yeah, it would.
Okay, isn't that a privilege for women to be able to pick and choose when they want to be feminine?
No, I think we deserve it. Why not? Men get everything else in the world.
Stop the cap.
I think there is.
Okay, but wouldn't that basically be saying that you're okay with the double standards only when it benefits you and you're only complaining about the double standards when it doesn't benefit you?
No, I would
Damn,
say.
son, where'd you find this?
I get exactly what you're saying, but I do also think that double standards are a part of our life, and I think men still benefit from double standards all the time.
Very few.
Can you name any double standards that benefit men?
You said
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Does benefit them.
Okay, but does that have anything to do with relationships?
Yeah.
Bro, what's up with these ads, man? I know you're trying to get your money, but come on, bro.
If a man is working all the time.
Can you name any double standards that benefit men?
You said it. I think men working sometimes does benefit them.
Okay, but does that have anything to do with relationships?
Yeah.
No.
If a man is working all the time, then it definitely impacts their relationship.
But don't you think that women traditionally have wanted men to protect and provide for them?
Yeah.
So then would it be any wonder why men are in leadership roles if women wanted it that way?
I don't wonder it sometimes. Like, I think there's certain women who want to be super independent and
But you still want to
have
provide
the
her,
leadership
though.
roles, but then I think there's other women who still want to be the nurturing mother type.
I worked hard in my bachelor's and in my life to have a career that I'm going to very much love. I'm going to be financially dependent, and I can do things on my own. And just like kind of just having men respect that independence, I would say, is the biggest thing.
I would agree. I think for me, like, also it's kind of the same thing. Like, I don't have to go like preaching about it, but like I think it's just like me knowing in like myself.
Stop the cap.
I respect myself as a woman, and like I know I am a woman in the world, but also like I am completely independent, and like I'm not gonna need to depend on another person, let alone another man, to do any of that for me. And I feel like in the past that was most definitely true. Like my grandparents, like she depended on my grandpa for a lot of things, and like I'm not gonna have to do that, and I think that's wonderful. And like women are doing a lot of things that they weren't able to do before, like right now, and I'm fully behind that. And it's not like a whole, like you said, fuck men situation. Right. It's just like
that's not what feminism is.
Yeah, it's honestly not about men. A lot of people think feminism is about men, but like that's the whole like fucking foundation of it, is that it's about women like being better and like
feminism claims to be about equality, but is often confused with man hating. How can feminists repair this misconception?
I don't think it's our job to repair.
I
think it's some people's fragile egos, men in particular, that like don't like being targeted like that.
Here we go.
I don't know. I just think that that's not ours to repair. Like that was never like the premise on which it was built. It was just built in a way that like
shame, insults, guilt, and it need to be right.
Homes and land and be financially independent and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like I don't know. Some women take feminism as like, oh, fuck men, and like. Again, that's not our situation to repair. Like,
yeah, we try to respect the male's feelings as much as possible because they're already offended that we have women's rights. Let them have their dominance.
Why do you think men would be offended that women have rights?
Oh, I hear it all the time.
Can you give me an example? Like what specifically?
I've heard a lot of people say that we shouldn't have rights still today.
Well, I don't know if men are saying that women shouldn't have rights. I think they're just saying that there should be equal accountability.
Oh, equal accountability, I agree with, but to a certain extent.
Can you name any rights that men have that women aren't also afforded today?
Pay. They say that it's illegal now, but I know that they're still doing it on the low, that they pay more men than they do women.
Well, right, but it's illegal, so if that was provable, wouldn't there be class action lawsuits happening every day?
It would definitely be a class action lawsuit, but...
What just happened?
She just slapped my ass.
Okay.
Oh.
So if a man did the same thing...
I don't think it's right either way.
Right, but
so like if a woman were to come slap my ass compared to a man, I feel like that's still not right either way.
Yeah,
But you wouldn't treat it the same though.
Okay, do you believe that the gender pay gap is a real thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Why aren't women filing class action lawsuits against companies that don't pay them equally?
Because it's like filing that you got raped. Goes right back down the toilet.
Well, yeah, but if it's a class action lawsuit, you would have a lot of people doing it at the same time, right?
Not necessarily.
yeah.
I think it also depends on where you work, what you're employed in, and also like what you work as.
Don't people sue for discrimination all the time?
Mm-hmm.
So why would they not sue for sexual discrimination?
It's a great question.
Why are there so many women today who say they don't need a man?
Because we're independent. Most of the women have small businesses or a business,
Stop the
or
cap.
they probably have a hair salon. That is a business. But yeah, mostly because most of them have businesses.
Does the fact that women no longer need men mean the main reason women were with men was because they had to be?
Yeah, it's because they had to be back in the day.
Well, then wouldn't that prove that men were often seen as a utility to be used?
They're still used. They're still tools.
Well, then how is that different than men objectifying women?
Uh-oh.
True. There's no difference.
So then why are men shamed for objectifying women while women will often objectify a man financially?
Because they're muscle heads. Muscle heads.
Does the fact that
Double
women no
standard.
longer need men mean that the main reason women were with men was because they had to be?
Yes. Originally, yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
So wouldn't that prove that men were often seen as a utility to be used?
Used to be, yeah. Yeah, they
So
are.
then how is that different than men objectifying women?
It's not.
So then why are men shamed for objectifying women sexually when women often objectify men financially?
Because that's the society we live in. That
Damn,
it's like,
son,
it's
where'd you find
It's
this?
a thing to objectify them versus us.
Well, right, but I'm just
Got
saying, shouldn't we each be equally shamed?
Yeah.
Or maybe
No, we
nobody
should.
is shamed at all?
No, we should. We should either be equally shamed
Well,
or not
we
shamed
should,
at all.
but are we?
No,
Why not?
because it's the society we live in.
Well, wouldn't you say that the fact that men are shamed and women aren't shamed maybe is kind of...
But women are still shamed in other reasons, in other ways. We're shamed all the time.
Why is it
Yeah, I
when
don't
women
like it,
are called
though.
out on their bad behavior, they often blame society or how they were raised, but when men are called out, they're more likely to be held accountable?
That's a great question. That's a great fucking question because I don't need to know the answer to that, but I definitely see it. And I
Is it
definitely
possible?
agree.
Is it possible to have equality without equal accountability?
Nah, that's the wrong. That's what's wrong out here, man. People got to know how to take accountability to stuff, man. Admit when you're wrong. Admit when you don't know something. Admit when you want to learn something.
I mean, if you really want to talk about that, let's just start here. Mother's Day is here. Father's Day is at the bottom.
Yep.
It's not really appreciated. I think the culture and the environment that we're building right now is it's different. You know, it's a lot of women can't get away with more things than a man can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is it possible to have equality without equal accountability?
I'm gonna say
nope.
No.
Hey, Brandon, what you got on? Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Invisalign.
When women win, we all win.
So let's celebrate the things that make us unique.
Let's go challenge every single thing that they assume.
When women lead, succeed, thrive,
everyone wins.
What?
What is the difference between being old-fashioned and being sexist?
Okay, so being sexist is when you are just simply unfair to women and you're hypocritical about what a woman can do and can't do and what a man can do and can't do.
Notice how when he gave the example, she immediately made it about what men do wrong and just glossed over the fact that it goes both ways. And the fact that there's double standards that exist proves that there's sexism in general. It's not something that we do. It's just something that is. Pay attention.
But being sexist is simply just demeaning women, not caring about what they think, not caring about what they do, just seeing them as less than.
Why is it okay to be old-fashioned in the way men treat women, but it's not okay to be old-fashioned in the way women treat men?
Oh, okay, so you ready for this one?
for men to be old-fashioned is they're thinking of chivalry. They're not actually opening the door past chivalry. So women still want men to open a door. We still want you to pay for our check, because even though we're together, you still want these things that are old-fashioned. But in the old-fashioned sense, women didn't have a voice. They didn't have anything else. So they didn't have pants to wear in a relationship. And now you're dealing with independent women in the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but why do you still want it though?
It does, because our world's fucked up.
When you're in a bar or club and you see a man you're attracted to, how do you hit on him? What do you do?
I don't do anything. I never make the first move ever.
Okay, so once again,
The opportunity will pass.
If women basically don't typically approach men, then aren't men kind of like just by default usually the ones expected to pay because they're the ones expected to approach women? And
I think you just pick two women that don't want to, because I know several of my friends were here with like 14 of them that would go up to a guy immediately and be like, "Hey, what's up?" But me, that's just my insecurity. Like I would never do that. Like I'm just insecure.
So what advice would you give to men who are afraid of rejection?
I would feel like go for it. I feel like if you have the right.
I say go for it, but remember, like, don't be too bold because you can, like, scare.
So why don't women just follow the same advice?
I should, but that's my own insecurity.
Why is it when it comes to a woman's education or her career, being assertive and going after what you want is a good quality, why not also in dating?
It should be, and that's something I probably should learn.
Absolutely.
Because we're both in college right now. We're seniors in college, so that's definitely something that we probably should learn. But that's just my own insecurity, and I need to.
If a woman chose to approach a man and shoot her shot, do you think she's more or less likely to be rejected than if a man approaches a woman?
I don't think she's more likely to be rejected.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of my guy friends say that's very attractive for a woman to do that.
Yeah.
So then why would women fear rejection when they're far less likely to be rejected?
I feel like it goes. Well, I feel like it goes back to the courtmanship, like of. A girl takes into consideration more than a guy or a male or whatever of having that a guy coming up to them more than a girl going up to a guy, because I feel like a guy would just be like, oh, this girl's just coming up to me, but a girl, they would take that as like, oh my god, this guy, he's interested in me, he wants to. I don't know.
But then sometimes that goes back to the old question. Sometimes they're too bold and it's like scary, and it's like.
See, you notice how women benefit from the man approaching them all the time, right? But then they preach equality in one breath, and then when you ask them, well, then why don't y'all just do what we were doing? They have all these they have all these reasons and all these rationalizations for why they don't want to do it. The tall chick was like, hey man, I'm just insecure, that's why I don't do it. But the other chick, she's like, oh, well, this and this and that, blah, blah, blah. She's just saying a bunch of nothing. So I just find it interesting how when you try to give them the equal role, they come up with all these justifications for why they don't want to do it or why they shouldn't do it or why they don't do it. So it's just interesting. It's interesting. Just an observation, man.
Too much. It's too much, and then you're creeped out.
Don't women often find attractive men cute and romantic when an ugly one doing the exact same thing is creepy?
Yup.
100%.
So if so,
Double
why should a guy
standard.
even bother trying to be romantic unless the woman already shows interest?
I mean, that's exactly what I think. I think a guy should only go for it if they can see that the woman is like interested back.
So why isn't there more like pressure on the woman to actually like communicate that she's interested rather than being subtle?
I think women just show it a lot differently than men. Men are more outspoken, and I think the girls are more willing to like sit back and see if the man's actually interested in them, because they don't want to be a fool either.
A lot of the questions that I bring up on my channel, people often tell me are things they've thought about before. Why do you think these topics are never commonly talked about?
I think that's a good one. I think it's really tough to talk about it because you have people on both sides of the spectrum. Like, I would consider myself like a feminist, and like I don't love everything that the patriarchy brings to the table. But I'm not like mad at these questions because it is interesting to just sit back and think about. So, but I think that it makes people uncomfortable. Like, you kind of caught us off guard with these questions, like they weren't black and white.
No, that's so fair.
So I think that just, I mean, it's just about being in your comfort zone, and people don't like being outside their comfort zone.
I would agree with that. I think about these questions sometimes too, but like I don't really have a place to like talk about them besides like with my friends, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But we don't really like sit on the couch and talk about gender roles too much. I mean, sometimes, but
sometimes, but like not a ton, you know.
All right, man. Okay, man. Shout out to It's Complicated for coming through with the fire video called Picking and Choosing, man. Oof. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the reaction, man. So first impressions of me watching this for the first time. Like I said earlier, I've watched quite a bit of his content, and I find it very enjoyable. I just never got around to actually reacting to any of it, and so I figured this would be my first reaction video to his content. And so first impressions of me watching this for the first time, man, it's just interesting how you can see a lot of things that us guys know get confirmed in real time. And then another thing too is like when you catch them off guard with questions that they never really discussed before, it puts them in a position of where they can't use certain talking points, if that makes any sense. Like they can't use certain talking points to try to justify their lack of accountability, their poor decisions, their poor behavior, and all the things that benefit them while putting us down. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely a huge fan of this guy's content, man. And I think he made some pretty solid points and caught these women off guard, and you know, just highlighted some of the issues that society has to deal with in general, and just bringing more of a more heightened level of awareness to the issues that heavily affect us, while they simultaneously benefit women. And, you know, I think he's doing a great job in the manosphere, man. I really think he's doing a great job of just getting out there, having the tough conversations, you know, shedding light on issues, and just getting raw, genuine perspectives, just straight from the source. And so with that being said, man, that's pretty much my reaction, man. So if you like the video, go ahead and give this video a like, share with a couple of your friends. Make sure you follow me on all my social media sites. And if you got something specific, go ahead and drop it in that comment section, man. It's your boy AnonymousBased. Peace.